My name is Hannah, and this is my beauty budget. Hey y'all, so I'm about to get ready to film, and I decided to film myself getting ready to film. I've been wanting to film more. Like, I would like to post more on my channel. So far I've been chugging along with my 3 videos a week, really. I call Friday a bonus video, but I've only missed it once since the beginning of the year. So at this point I'm pretty much posting Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday consistently. And the thing that holds me back from posting more often is time. And I think that if I could get used to filming more casual, shorter videos to pepper in between, I would be able to increase the content on my channel. And I would like to do that. And I would also like to get used to not every video having to be like super formal and extensive and formulaic, and just film some more content where I'm kind of hanging out, playing with makeup, putting on makeup, just relaxing a little bit with makeup, because that's a large part of my own relationship with makeup. And the anti-consumerist stuff and the stuff about being conscientious and all of that, it dovetails in my life with a true love of beauty. And I want to kind of stretch out a little bit in this space and be less precious about everything. So that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to get ready, and I'm going to use makeup that I guess it's some makeup that I've been testing to decide whether or not I want to keep it. So a lot of what I'm using today is currently in the Purgatory box. And then I think I'm going to use the Lila palette as well today because it had some requests for that. That's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. I'm going to start by pinning my bangs back. I haven't filmed myself putting makeup on in a long time, and I haven't done it in this new space. And so I'm kind of out of practice, and this might be weird and look weird, and I might look weird, and I already feel weird, so wish me luck. How do I even start? So I have a little bit of oil on my face. I am not going out anymore today. I actually just came back from a long day of work, so I don't need to layer on a ton of skincare, and I don't need to put on any sunscreen because I'm just putting on this look to film one video, and then it'll be the end of the day. So I did cleanse my face with a cleansing balm, and that left a bit of a film, and then I used this oil, the Better oil, which I really love to use when I'm prepping my skin for makeup, especially when I'm prepping my skin just with an oil for makeup. This is from Chemist Confessions. I've talked about it before. I talked about it in the Reckoning that this made it through. I really, really love this brand, and I really love this oil. So I'm just gonna let that soak in, and I'm going to get to work on my eyes. My eyelids are stained right now because I wore, just to work, just to entertain myself. Joe wasn't even at work today. It was just me working alone in the studio on a Saturday. But I wore this palette that Lauren gave me, which is the Juvia's Place Deuce palette. And I wore that really bright pink in the middle, and it stained my lids. So I'm not going to use this right now because I want to use the Lila palette, but I am going to, I guess, work with that stained color. I'm going to prime. I think I will prime with this Essence primer. I kept this in my most recent Reckoning, and ooh, look, Lauren didn't peel the thing off of the mirror. Ready for some ASMR realness? I'm not sure if this will go up, this video, before or after the next couple of installments of Hannah's Reckoning, but as I'm filming this, the first installment has gone up and this wasn't in it. So it's the Essence eyeshadow base that Tara sent, and I told a long story. I haven't edited the other installments yet, but in that video I told a long story about how I really, really love this product in LA, but when I took it with me to Portland, it creased all over the place. And then I came back to LA and I kept trying it, and it didn't crease in LA. So it might have been the climate in Portland, might have been the skincare I was using, but in any case, it made it through the Reckoning, and ever since I filmed that, I've been reaching for it more because of having taken it out of the Purgatory box and talked about it, and I really like it. And it didn't completely cover the pink, but it definitely smoothed it out and kind of softened it a bit and made it a canvas that'll be easier to work with. So I'm going to start by going in with this Laura Geller blush on my eyes. I'm completely obsessed with using blush to set my lid primer and to prepare my eyelids for an eye look and kind of to build the base of the look. I almost never do my eye look these days without using a blush first. So this is the Baked Heart Blush and Highlighter in Pink Valentine. It's pink and shiny with a shiny gold heart in the middle, and it looks kind of like a Nars Orgasm dupe to me. That's been my experience with it so far, but very, very pretty and kind of gripping my heart in a way that Nars Orgasm doesn't. So I'm just swirling my brush all around, I'll show you, in the pan and the gold in the middle, and tapping it off, and I'm gonna kind of get that all up in the crease, pretty much all over the lid. So that's pretty golden peachy. And I am going for kind of a light, iridescent, grimy, messy look today. And I do kind of want to get it done in good order because I have a second video to film. So I'm not too pressed about having it be too dramatic. It's kind of like a wash of Nars Orgasm all over the lid. I'm gonna pop some on the lower lash line too. The nice thing about using a blush for this purpose is really, really revealing itself with this one in particular, because it's so blushy and washy and relatively sheer, and because it's skin-like in texture and in color, because it's meant to be a flesh on the cheek, so it's meant to kind of represent a color that the skin can be. It's okay to kind of go messy with it. So on the lower lash line, I was just like all over kind of my eye bags, all over down here. And I mean, right now it kind of looks like I have pink eye, but with the rest of the look on, it'll blend the eyeshadows kind of out into my skin in a really natural way, and texturally it's really easy to work with. So I'm into that. I might set it here. I'll probably use it on my cheeks too because I like keeping the look cohesive with that technique. So I'm just gonna dig in. I think I'm gonna go in with Dragon Bite, which is this shade right here, and it's emerging as the star of this palette for me. I absolutely love this. I'm just gonna get it on my finger. I'm gonna put it almost all over my lid, like almost all the way up to the brows, and we'll see how that looks. So because I have hooded eyes, I went well above my crease with that. I kind of brought it up to like the middle of the ridge of my brow bone, where I can feel my brow bone, maybe even a tiny bit above there. And then I use a clean finger to soften that edge, buffing the soft edge of it even higher than that, quite close to my brows. I am going to use the same brush that I used to apply that blush just to soften it even more. This is actually the e.l.f. concealer brush. I use it for eyeshadow almost every day. I'm gonna go ahead and pop Dragon's Bite on the lower lash line. It's a really cool color. I mean, it looks red, as you can see. Like, it looks like a rich, weird, slightly iridescent red. In the pan, you can see that it actually has a lot of green shifting pigment in it, but it just makes it look mysteriously red on the eyes. It really doesn't have that super intense duochrome that really looks different from different angles. It just gives it depth. It just gives it dimension. I love it. Love this eyeshadow. All right, I know I'm moving in the right direction when I start to look genuinely ill with the plague. So I want to deepen the outer corner just a little bit, but I don't think I want to go too deep or black or even brown today. I think I'm going to stick kind of with this red, and honestly, I'm going to stick with the duochrome. I'm going to stick with like shimmers. So this shade, which is called Livid, is another real star. It's like a plum shifting metallic. I'm gonna use that to deepen up my outer corner, and I'm just gonna keep going with my fingers. This is how I do my eyeshadow these days, you guys. This is how it is. So again, I kind of brought that up onto the place where my brow bone is its most sticky outy, and then I blended it even up higher than that, and now I'm gonna just soften the edges a little with that same brush. And I'm going to use the same brush I've been using on the lower lash line. It's a Morphe E43, just a little flat, smudgy brush that I use a lot. Livid is the darkest of the three shadows that I've used, so I'm keeping it a little bit closer to the lash line than I did with the other two. The other ones, I kind of buffed them as far down as I could. So I'm going to use this little brush that I've been using on the lower lash line to pack some of this into the outer corner just to deepen it up a little bit. There we go. It's deeper, but it's still all shimmery, so it's still pretty light. It's still pretty messy and weird. So this is an eyeliner that Lauren May Beauty gave to me. A lot of this stuff is stuff that Lauren gave to me. All of it so far. It is by Louise Poston, and it says Haute Nature. I don't know if that's the color or the line, but it's an amazing kind of burgundy. It's like a soft burgundy brown, and I love that kind of color for the lash line and the waterline, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop this in there. So that helped to kind of define and grunge out my lower lash line a little bit without making the overall look too harsh. My eyes are a little sensitive right now because I was wearing eyeshadow all day and then I took it off. They're feeling a little watery, a little bit delicate, so I don't want to mess with them too much. They're already kind of starting to water a little. I think I'm going to smoke out that lower lash line a tiny bit more. All right, it's messy as all get out, but it'll do. And before I go in with mascara, I actually want to add one of the shadows from here. There's a truly remarkable eyeshadow in here. It is the one called Tarte. It's right here. It looks white in the pan, but it is. Let's see if I can show you. Can you see that shifting? It's just incredibly iridescent and duochrome. So I'm gonna put that on my brow bone and maybe down a little bit on my lids. We'll just see what happens. Wow, that really changed the look. So I don't know if you can see the difference between my two eyes right now, but laying this duochrome over the inner half of my lid really brightened it up. It made it look super pink, whereas before it was more browny red. Yeah, it's super pink now, and there's also a good bit of blue in there because there's a blue in the shift of this Juvia's Place shadow. I think that what I might do, because I still want to I want to deepen it back up, is go into this like intense purpley blue shadow here called Amethyst and just pop that right in the upper part of the outer corner to ground the look a little more, because it's kind of like flown away into bright white and pink land. So I'm going to kind of bring it back to grunge land. All right, it's still a pink and purple look. It's really gone there, but we're back in grunge land. And lastly, I'm gonna take more of Dragon Bite, that shadow that I went in with first, and just pop it in the center of the lid. All right, awesome. I think that mascara is really going to help pull this look together. This is the mascara that I've been using lately, and to my surprise, I have been absolutely loving it. I have fallen in love with it. And I say to my surprise because I had a mini of this. It's Monsieur Big by Lancome. I had a mini of it last year at some point, I think during my no-buy year, and I thought that it was just okay. I thought the brush was serviceable, everything about it was serviceable, and I did use up the whole mini, but I never considered getting it again. Like I never kind of had it on my list or on my radar as one of those great mascaras that I really, really love. And the full size, which I got from Octoly, because I used up all my mascara. I had zero mascara and I was about to go and buy a new one. And then I was like, maybe I'll check Octoly and see if there's any on there that I want to give a try to. And this one was on there and I thought, why not? It was serviceable and I can get it and I can review it, and I love it so much more than I was expecting to. It's just way, way better in the full size. I think that I can confidently give that as a review. If you've tried a mini of this and you didn't really like it, don't necessarily write it off altogether. However, it is expensive. If I hadn't gotten this from Octoly, I would have gotten a drugstore mascara. So there's the mascara on, and I will probably have cut the scene of me applying it because it's always long and boring and awkward looking. I think that what I really like about this, and what I say when I say that I like splinky mascaras, is that it's buildable. There's nothing that I despise more than when I go in with a mascara and it puts on a coat, and then the more I go back in, it just looks the same and it doesn't build on itself. It doesn't sort of crystallize and start making shapes off of the lashes. I hate it when mascaras just are like paint that just sticks and makes the lashes like wet and coated. But this, it's really, really buildable, and most of the time when I put it on, I end up with really quite a feathery but dramatic look. I think today my lashes don't really want to feather because they've already been made up and then cleaned and then made up again, and it doesn't always go as well the second time when I'm doing that twice in a day. But this is good. It's a good kind of simple but iridescent and layered eye look, and I'm going to move on to my face now. I feel better already. I don't know if you could tell at the beginning of the video, but I was just kind of bummed out and tired, and just putting on a little makeup, the routine of it, the ritual, it's already making me feel better, and it's almost always like that. So that oil is pretty much, I mean, it's still a little bit on there, but it's very lightweight and it's pretty much well soaked in. I'm going to use this primer that was in the bag that Lauren gave me. So it's by Clarins. The first thing I've ever had from Clarins is the SOS Boost Radiant Primer. And it just comes out, I've used it a couple of times already. It's just like a nice radiance primer. It's relatively lotiony, which isn't always my preference for primers, but it's not so lotiony that it feels like it's not compatible with what's underneath it, which is that oil. And it's also not lotiony in that it feels like it hasn't provided a layer of something. Like I can feel it on my skin. I can feel that there's sort of this radiant and slightly slippy and perhaps grippy silicone-y maybe layer. I'm not sure if it really has silicone in it, but you know that feeling that there's something there that's prepped your skin for makeup. I often find that very lotiony primers don't give that to me, and this does give that to me, so I quite like it. And it's glowy without being obnoxiously, untenably glowy. So I would usually let that set down for a little bit, but I kind of feel like charging ahead. I'm going to go in with my color corrector. This is the Sephora Bright Future Green Color Corrector. It's a beautiful serum-y formula, and this is how I've been using it. So I really pressed that into the skin all over, and it did quite a lot to neutralize my redness. I am now going to go in with the concealer I've been using, which is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD in Pearl, and I think I'm going to mix it with the Hourglass Veil Translucent Retouching Fluid in Vanilla. This is what I've been doing lately when I really, really want my skin to look skin-like, because the Veil Fluid is dark on me. It's either exactly my skin tone or a tiny bit darker, so it darkens, it sort of softens the effect of the Makeup Forever, which is really brightening on me. Just hitting tiny dots. And the Makeup Forever one, it's not a super, super matte product. It's not like ultra matte, but it, you know, it's not glowy. And this Hourglass product is glowy. So it gives kind of a glowy, more natural finish. And I've really just been doing this mostly with my fingers. It's really quite dewy and skin-like, but I feel like the planes of my face have been brightened and that redness has been even more thoroughly dealt with. I don't know if the studio lighting will be picking it up, but if you were to see me in real life, I have some like inactive blemishes here. I'm gonna go in a little bit with my real concealer, which is this Nars one. I usually use a brush with it, but I'm really all in with my fingers today. So that was just a smidge of the Nars Soft Matte Complete Concealer to tone down those couple of spots that I'm sure you can't see on camera, but I can see them in real life. Let's do brows. I've been keeping this little dish of water on my vanity, and I'm still using this cake of soap, which is not ideal for soap brows because it's opaque, and so if I don't blend it in super well, I can see like the little flakes of soap in there, but it's serving fine for now, and I'm keeping my eye out for a translucent soap that I really want to spend some of my budget on. So I just dipped the spoolie in the water and rubbed it in the soap, and I'm going to shape my brows. My brows have been feeling a little wild and asymmetrical lately, but I think we all know how I feel about that. I don't care. I dyed them with brow dye at home about a week and a half ago. So this is how dark they are after having been slowly fading over the course of a week and a half. I'll probably let them go another week or two until I feel like it's time to dye them again. I mean, they're looking pretty dark right now, and they're dark enough to make a shape even though I'm not filling them in with any color. I'm kind of feeling this iridescent pink fantasy. I think I am going to use this highlighter, which is another thing that Lauren gave me. It is the Ofra collab with Nikki Tutorials in the color Cloud 9. So it has a lot in common with that shimmery Juvia's Place shadow that I put on my lid, the iridescent one. I'm gonna pop this onto my cheeks and then layer that blush over top of it, the blush that I started out with on my eyes. Here's the blush. I'm feeling a little ghosty because the white shift of that iridescence is really washing me out. So I'm gonna go in with this number 7 brush from Spicy Choco. This was some PR that was sent to me, these little short brushes. Actually, I'm gonna use a bigger one. I'm gonna use this one because I think I want to kind of contour with the blush. I kind of want it all over. So this bigger fluffy one, I love these brushes. They're so easy to use. I really kind of like the short handles. They're easy to travel with, which is the idea. But most importantly, they're very, very soft and fluffy and easy to control, I find. I really, really like them. I use them all the time. All right, this blush is giving me a nice rosy glow across my face, but it is too shimmery to give me like the contoured effect that I want. So I'm gonna reach into this. This is another, this is another blush that I'm testing out that's from Lauren. It's the Gold Waves blush in 03 Damask Mauve by Kiko. This is the only thing I've ever tried by Kiko as well. But because it's darker, I'm gonna use a more targeted brush, this little brush, but it's also from Spicy Choco. There we go. These are my super glossy iridescent sunburned fantasies. I need to choose a lip. You know, I feel like sticking with kind of a natural lip and kind of cat hair, kind of my natural lip color. So I'm gonna use the gloss end of this Lancome Lip Kajal. It's not really a lip loop. It's, for all intents and purposes, just kind of a nourishing, clear lip gloss, but I think it is what I wanted to suit this look. Am I done? Setting spray? Oh, I have to put my mole back on. All right, I think that's it. Wow, I look so glossy and pink and made up, but it's good. It's good for filming. I think this will do. And the video I'm about to film is the single eyeshadow tag by Zane San, and she loves these tones, these pinks and purples, so it's a good homage to her, which I wasn't even really focusing on, but maybe I was subconsciously channeling Zane as I did this look. And that is it. That is this quick, simple, little, plain old get ready with me for filming. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. I hope you will enjoy some kind of slightly calmer and different and more, hopefully, frequent content from me. So we'll see how this strategy unfolds. I'm kind of playing around with some new ideas. Thank you again so much for watching, and again, I hope that you enjoyed it. And I hope that you are remembering to take extra good care of yourself so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world. Oh, I'm gonna have to reapply that.